Welcome to Sleepy Wildlife. Tonight, we drift into the deep blue sea, a quiet, alien world where sunlight fades, and creatures older than the dinosaurs glide silently beneath the rhythm of the ocean waves. The ocean covers most of our planet, yet so much remains unseen. A vast realm of mystery, beauty, and gentle motion. Together, we'll explore 100 calm, fascinating facts, stories of life, wonder, and the hidden corners of this underwater world. So settle into comfort, breathe deeply, and let the subtle pulse of the sea carry you toward calm. Let's begin. Covering 71% of our planet's surface, the ocean creates a vast blue world that remains largely mysterious. Despite centuries of exploration, scientists estimate that 80% of the ocean remains unexplored and unmapped. This means that right now, as you drift towards sleep, there are entire underwater mountains, valleys, and ecosystems waiting to be discovered. The ocean holds more mysteries than we may ever fully uncover. Though we speak of 5 major oceans, the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and Southern, they are all part of one continuous body of water. These names are human constructs, helpful for navigation and geography. But beneath the surface, the waters flow seamlessly from one ocean to another. A drop of water in the Pacific could eventually journey to the Atlantic, carried by currents on a voyage lasting decades. This interconnectedness makes our ocean a single, living system. More than half of Earth's oxygen comes not from rainforests, but from minuscule marine plants called phytoplankton. These microscopic organisms drift near the ocean's surface, using photosynthesis to convert sunlight and carbon dioxide into energy and oxygen. Every second breath you take was created by these invisible ocean dwellers. As you breathe slowly and deeply now, thank the sea for the air filling your lungs. The rhythmic rising and falling of ocean tides is caused primarily by the moon's gravitational pull on Earth's waters. As the moon orbits our planet, its gravity creates a bulge in the ocean on the side facing it, and another bulge on the opposite side. The sun also influences tides, but with less than half the moon's effect. These celestial forces create the eternal pulse of waves against shores, a rhythm that has continued for billions of years. Ocean currents flow in massive, interconnected patterns that circulate water around the entire globe. This system, sometimes called the global ocean conveyor, moves warm water from the equator toward the poles and cold water back toward the tropics. The journey of a single parcel of water through this system can take 1,000 years. These currents regulate Earth's climate and distribute nutrients that feed marine life everywhere. The ocean acts as Earth's largest carbon sink, absorbing about 30% of the carbon dioxide that human activities release into the atmosphere. This invisible process helps slow climate change, though it comes at a cost to ocean chemistry. The water itself becomes more acidic as it absorbs CO2, affecting the creatures that live within it. Still, the ocean continues its quiet work, breathing in what we breathe out. The Pacific Ocean is so vast that it contains more water than all of Earth's land masses combined. Stretching from the Arctic to Antarctica, and from Asia to the Americas, it covers more than 63 million square miles. You could fit all 7 continents within the Pacific's boundaries with room to spare. Its name means peaceful, given by explorer Ferdinand Magellan during a period of calm weather, though this ocean can be anything but tranquil. Seawater freezes at a lower temperature than fresh water, typically around 28 degrees Fahrenheit, instead of 32 degrees. This happens because salt interferes with the formation of ice crystals, requiring colder temperatures for water molecules to lock into solid form. In polar regions, where seawater does freeze, the ice that forms is actually less salty than the water beneath. The coldest parts of the ocean remain liquid when freshwater lakes would be frozen solid. Dissolved in the ocean's waters is an estimated 20 million tons of gold, floating invisibly among the salt and minerals. The concentration is incredibly low, about 13 billionths of a gram per litre, making it impossible to extract economically. But knowing that this precious metal drifts through every wave and current adds a certain magic to the sea. The ocean is literally filled with treasure, even if we can never gather it. The deepest point in all the world's oceans is the Mariana Trench, plunging nearly 7 miles below the surface. At this depth, the pressure is more than 1,000 times what we experience at sea level, enough to crush most submarines. Yet even here, life persists in forms wonderfully adapted to the extreme conditions. If Mount Everest were placed in the trench, its peak would still be over a mile underwater. Sea turtles have existed for over 100 million years, swimming in the oceans since the age of dinosaurs. They witnessed the mass extinction that ended the dinosaurs and survived to see the rise of mammals and eventually humans. Their basic body plan has remained largely unchanged because it works so beautifully, a testament to evolutionary perfection. Every sea turtle alive today carries in its DNA the wisdom of millions of years of ocean survival. Sea turtles navigate across thousands of miles of open ocean, using Earth's magnetic field as a map. They detect subtle variations in magnetic intensity and angle, essentially reading the planet's invisible magnetic landscape. Young turtles imprint on the magnetic signature of their birth beach, enabling them to return decades later to nest. This biological GPS system is so precise that turtles can navigate to specific beaches they haven't visited since they first crawled to sea as hatchlings. Leatherback sea turtles can dive nearly 4,000 feet deep in search of their favorite food, jellyfish. These impressive reptiles can hold their breath for up to 85 minutes and are the deepest diving of all sea turtles. Their bodies have special adaptations for deep diving, including collapsible lungs and a flexible shell that can withstand enormous pressure. They can also maintain body temperatures warmer than the surrounding water, letting them hunt in frigid depths. Green sea turtles can hold their breath for up to 5 hours when resting or sleeping underwater. Their metabolism slows dramatically during rest, reducing their oxygen needs to a fraction of normal. During active swimming and feeding, they surface to breathe every few minutes. But while sleeping on the seafloor or under a reef ledge, they can remain completely still for hours. This ability to slow their body functions is almost meditative, a biological calm that lets them simply be. Flying fish can glide above the water surface for up to 45 seconds, covering distances of over 1,300 feet. They use their large pectoral fins as wings and beat their tails rapidly against the water to build speed before launching. Once airborne, they glide on air currents, sometimes even gaining altitude by dipping their tails back in the water for another power boost. This impressive ability helps them escape aquatic predators, though it sometimes leads them into the jaws of seabirds instead. Jellyfish have existed for over 500 million years, making them older than dinosaurs, trees, or insects. They survived 5 major mass extinctions and adapted to every marine environment from the surface to the deep sea, from polar waters to the tropics. Their simple body plan, essentially a bell-shaped bag with tentacles, has proven extraordinarily successful through countless millennia. They are living connections to Earth's ancient oceans, virtually unchanged across unimaginable spans of time. Jellyfish are approximately 95% water, with no brain, heart, bones, or blood. Their nervous system is a simple net of neurons that coordinates movement and feeding responses. They drift with currents, pulsing their bells to move vertically through the water column, following food and light. Despite their simplicity, or perhaps because of it, they are supremely adapted to their environment, requiring minimal energy to survive and thrive. Moon jellies pulse their translucent bells in a steady, rhythmic motion, typically once per second, creating a hypnotic, meditative movement. These gentle creatures are mostly transparent, with 4 horseshoe-shaped gonads visible through their bells. They feed on tiny plankton that stick to mucus on their bells and are then transported to their mouths by cilia. Watching moon jellies drift and pulse in an aquarium has been shown to reduce stress and promote calmness in observers. The lion's mane jellyfish can have tentacles extending over 100 feet long, making it potentially longer than a blue whale. These tentacles trail behind the jellyfish like flowing ribbons, each armed with millions of stinging cells, used to capture fish and plankton. The jellyfish's bell can be over 7 feet across, a massive crimson or purple dome drifting through cold northern waters. Encountering one is like meeting a floating flower garden, armed with mild venom. Sea otters wrap themselves in kelp and hold hands with their companions while sleeping to prevent drifting apart. These adorable marine mammals rest in groups called rafts, floating together on the ocean surface. They groom each other's fur obsessively because their survival depends on maintaining its insulating properties. They have the densest fur of any animal, with up to 1 million hairs per square inch. Watching a raft of sleeping otters, paws linked together, is one of nature's most heartwarming sights. Coral reefs support approximately 25% of all marine species, despite covering less than 1% of the ocean floor. This incredible biodiversity density makes reefs among the most productive ecosystems on Earth, rivaling rainforests. Thousands of species of fish, invertebrates, and algae create an interconnected community where every organism plays a role. The reef provides food, shelter, and nurseries for creatures ranging from microscopic to massive. Though they may look like underwater plants or rocks, corals are actually colonies of tiny animals called polyps, related to jellyfish and sea anemones. Each polyp has a simple body, with a mouth surrounded by tentacles that sting and capture passing plankton. Thousands of polyps work together, secreting calcium carbonate to build the hard limestone skeleton that forms reef structures. The colony acts as a single superorganism, growing slowly over decades and centuries. Corals have a crucial symbiotic relationship with microscopic algae, called zooxanthellae, that live inside their tissues. These algae photosynthesize, producing sugars that provide up to 90% of the coral's energy needs. In return, the coral provides the algae with protection and access to sunlight. This partnership is so vital that when corals lose their zooxanthellae, a phenomenon called bleaching. They can starve and die if the algae don't return quickly enough. The Great Barrier Reef off Australia's coast is so vast that it's visible from space, spanning over 1,400 miles and covering an area larger than Italy. It's actually composed of nearly 3,000 individual reefs and 900 islands. The reef system is home to 6 species of sea turtles, over 1,500 species of fish, and countless invertebrates. It's one of the 7 natural wonders of the world and the largest living structure on Earth. Coral reefs grow at a wonderfully unhurried pace, with most reef-building corals adding only a few centimeters to their structure each year. Some massive coral formations are hundreds or even thousands of years old, representing centuries of gradual construction. Brain corals, which can grow to over 6 feet in diameter, might be 900 years old. This makes reefs both precious and fragile. Damage that takes moments can require centuries to repair. Some coral colonies can live for thousands of years, making them among Earth's oldest living organisms. Black corals found in deep waters off Hawaii have been aged at over 4,000 years old, meaning they were already ancient when the pyramids were built. These long-lived corals serve as living archives, their skeletons recording ocean chemistry changes over millennia. Scientists study them like underwater tree rings to understand ocean history. Clownfish and sea anemones demonstrate one of the ocean's most charming partnerships. The clownfish is immune to the anemone's stinging tentacles due to a special mucus coating, letting it hide among them for protection. In return, the clownfish defends the anemone from predators, cleans it, and provides nutrients through its waste. The 2 species have co-evolved so closely that they rarely thrive without each other. Certain areas of coral reefs function as cleaning stations, where small fish like cleaner wrasse remove parasites, dead skin, and debris from larger fish. Large predators that would normally eat these small fish wait patiently, with mouths open, while cleaners swim in and out, even entering their gills. This mutualistic relationship benefits both parties. The cleaners get food, while their clients enjoy better health. These stations are like underwater spa salons with strict no-eating policies. Parrotfish play an unexpected role in creating the white sand beaches many of us love. These colorful fish have beak-like teeth that they use to scrape algae and polyps from coral surfaces. They ingest the coral skeleton along with their food, digest the organic matter, and excrete the rest as fine white sand. A single parrotfish can produce hundreds of pounds of sand per year. The next time you walk on a tropical beach, thank the parrotfish. Coral reefs provide crucial coastal protection, acting as natural breakwaters that reduce wave energy by up to 97% before it reaches shore. This protection prevents erosion and shields coastal communities from storm surges. In this way, healthy reefs save billions of dollars in potential storm damage and protect both human communities and coastal ecosystems. The value of this service far exceeds what we could afford to build artificially. Phytoplankton, microscopic photosynthetic organisms, form the base of nearly all ocean food webs. These infinitesimal drifters convert sunlight, carbon dioxide, and nutrients into organic matter that feeds zooplankton, which in turn feed larger animals. Without phytoplankton, the ocean would be largely lifeless. Each spring, phytoplankton blooms, visible from space, signal an explosion of life that ripples through the entire marine ecosystem as the microscopic becomes food for the massive. Giant kelp can grow up to 2 feet per day under ideal conditions, making it one of the fastest growing organisms on Earth. This rapid growth is fueled by efficient photosynthesis and the kelp's ability to transport nutrients throughout its length. A single kelp plant can reach over 150 feet from the seafloor to the surface in a single growing season. Kelp forests provide crucial habitat for countless marine species, creating underwater forests as rich and complex as any on land. Kelp forests create a 3-layered ecosystem similar to terrestrial forests. The canopy floats at the surface, forming a dense ceiling where sunlight is abundant and sea otters rest. Below lies a midwater zone where fish navigate between fronds, and at the bottom, a shaded understory hosts urchins, crabs, and other creatures. This vertical structure creates diverse habitats within a single forest, each layer supporting different communities of life. Kelp forests provide habitat for over 1,000 species of marine plants and animals. Fish find shelter between the fronds. Sea otters wrap themselves in kelp while sleeping, and countless invertebrates graze on the plants or hunt among them. The kelp itself releases dissolved organic carbon that feeds the entire ecosystem. When kelp forests are healthy, they support rich food webs that benefit species from tiny crustaceans to visiting whales. Sea urchins play a crucial role in controlling kelp forest health through their grazing. In balanced ecosystems, sea otters and other predators keep urchin populations in check, letting kelp thrive. When predators disappear, urchin populations can explode, creating urchin barrens, where they've eaten all the kelp down to bare rock. This delicate balance demonstrates how every species in an ecosystem affects every other, creating webs of interaction that can shift dramatically when one strand is broken. Seagrass meadows are important carbon sinks, storing carbon in their roots and sediments at rates up to 40 times faster than terrestrial forests. Despite covering less than 0.2% of the ocean floor, they account for 10% of the ocean's capacity to bury carbon. These flowering plants that returned to the sea millions of years ago now play a crucial role in mitigating climate change. Their waving meadows also stabilize sediments, filter water, and provide nursery habitat for fish. Mangrove forests grow in the intertidal zone, where land meets sea, with specialized roots that can tolerate salt water. These unique forests protect coastlines from erosion and storm surges, while providing nursery habitat for juvenile fish, shrimp, and crabs. Their tangled roots create calm, protected areas where young marine life can mature before venturing into open water. Many commercial fish species in tropical regions spend part of their life cycle in mangroves. Sargassum seaweed creates floating ecosystems in the open ocean, particularly in the Sargasso Sea of the North Atlantic. These golden brown algae form vast rafts that provide habitat for fish, sea turtles, crabs, shrimp, and countless other species far from any coastline. Young sea turtles spend their first years hiding in sargassum rafts, finding both food and protection. These floating islands demonstrate that even the open ocean can support rich communities when the right conditions exist. Coralline algae are hard, crusty organisms that deposit calcium carbonate and help cement coral reefs together. These pink and purple algae grow in plates and crusts on reef surfaces, filling gaps between corals and strengthening the overall structure. They can withstand more wave action than living coral and continue growing even in areas where coral struggles. In this way, They act as the mortar that holds the reef's living stones together. Some algae blooms can create beautiful bioluminescent displays at night, making waves glow with ethereal blue light. When agitated by movement, certain species of dinoflagellates produce this magical phenomenon. These blooms are nature's way of putting on a light show, creating beaches where every wave sparkles. While some algal blooms can be harmful to marine life, others simply add moments of wonder to nighttime shores. An octopus has 3 hearts working in coordination. 2 pump blood to the gills, while the third pumps it to the rest of the body. Their blood is blue rather than red because it uses copper-based hemocyanin instead of iron-based hemoglobin to carry oxygen. This blue blood is more efficient at transporting oxygen in cold, low-oxygen conditions. Interestingly, when an octopus swims, the heart that delivers blood to the body stops beating, which is why they prefer crawling to swimming. Octopuses can change their skin color and texture in just 0.3 of a second, faster than the blink of an eye. They accomplish this through specialized cells called chromatophores, which contain pigment and can expand or contract. Beneath these are iridophores and leucophores that reflect light and create shimmering effects. This ability helps them blend with surroundings, communicate with other octopuses, and express emotions. Their skin is like a dynamic, living canvas. Each of an octopus's 8 arms contains around 40 million neurons and can act semi-independently of the central brain. This distributed intelligence lets arms explore crevices, manipulate objects, and even taste what they touch simultaneously, without overwhelming the octopus's central processing. About 2/3 of an octopus's neurons are in its arms rather than its brain. It's as if each arm has its own mini-brain, helping the octopus multitask in ways we can barely imagine. The mimic octopus can impersonate over 15 different species, including lionfish, sea snakes, jellyfish, and flatfish. It changes not only its color and pattern, but also its shape and behavior to match whatever creature offers the best protection in a given situation. When threatened by a damselfish, it might mimic a banded sea snake that preys on damselfish. This impressive ability requires intelligence to assess threats and remember which disguises work best against which predators. Cuttlefish can display rapidly moving patterns across their skin that create hypnotic, almost psychedelic effects. These passing cloud patterns may mesmerize prey before the cuttlefish strikes with its tentacles. They can also split their body display, showing different patterns on different sides, useful when trying to attract a female on one side while warning off a rival male on the other. Their color-changing abilities rival those of octopuses, despite being colorblind themselves. Cuttlefish possess one of the highest brain-to-body ratios among invertebrates and can solve complex puzzles to obtain food. They've been observed learning by watching other cuttlefish, remembering the location of hidden prey for extended periods, and even exhibiting self-control by waiting for preferred food rewards. Despite living only 1 to 2 years, they pack remarkable cognitive abilities into their brief lives, rivaling the intelligence of some vertebrates. Dolphins develop unique signature whistles that function essentially as names, enabling them to identify and call to specific individuals. A dolphin will use its own signature whistle to introduce itself, and will use another dolphin's whistle to call for that individual. They can remember these whistle names for at least 20 years, longer than they typically encounter other dolphins in the wild. This naming system suggests a level of self-awareness and social complexity rivaling that of great apes. Dolphins sleep with half of their brain at a time, while the other half remains awake and alert. This unihemispheric sleep helps them continue swimming, breathing, and watching for predators even while resting. They typically close the eye opposite the sleeping half of the brain. During sleep, they swim slowly and surface regularly for air, maintaining just enough consciousness to survive. Orcas, also called killer whales, live in tight-knit family groups with complex social structures and their own dialects. Each pod has distinct vocalizations that members use to communicate, and different pods in the same region can have noticeably different dialects. These vocalizations are passed down through generations, creating cultural traditions. Orcas can live 50 to 80 years, with grandmother orcas playing important roles in teaching younger generations hunting techniques and social norms. Sea lions can remember and perform tricks they've learned for at least 3 months without practice, demonstrating impressive long-term memory. Their intelligence and trainability have made them stars in aquariums and, more seriously, participants in military programs where they've been trained to locate underwater objects. In the wild, they're playful and curious, often approaching divers and displaying what seems like genuine enjoyment in games. They're social animals who communicate through a variety of barks, honks, and roars. Blue whales hold the title of largest animals ever to exist on Earth, surpassing even the largest dinosaurs. These magnificent creatures can reach lengths of 100 feet and weigh up to 200 tons, as much as 33 elephants. Despite their enormous size, they feed on some of the ocean's smallest creatures, filtering tiny krill through baleen plates in their mouths. A blue whale can consume up to 4 tons of krill in a single day during feeding season. The heart of a blue whale weighs approximately 400 pounds, roughly the size of a small car. This massive organ beats just 5 to 6 times per minute when the whale dives, slowing down to conserve oxygen. Each heartbeat pumps about 60 gallons of blood through the whale's vast circulatory system. The whale's aorta is so large that a small person could fit their head inside it. Whale songs can travel thousands of miles through ocean water, carried by underwater sound channels that act like acoustic highways. Male humpback whales sing the longest and most complex songs in the animal kingdom, with compositions lasting up to 20 minutes and repeating for hours. All males in a region sing similar songs that evolve gradually over time, like an enormous, slow-motion musical trend. The purpose of these songs remains partially mysterious, though they likely play a role in mating. Humpback whales have developed an impressive cooperative hunting technique called bubble net feeding. A group of whales swims in a shrinking circle below a school of fish, blowing bubbles that form a cylindrical curtain. The fish, frightened by the bubble wall, cluster tightly together in the center. The whales then rise together through the middle with mouths open, swallowing thousands of fish in a single gulp. Sperm whales are the deepest diving mammals, capable of descending over a mile beneath the surface and holding their breath for 90 minutes or more. In these dark depths, they hunt giant squid, using echolocation clicks that are among the loudest sounds produced by any animal. Their bodies have special adaptations for extreme pressure, including collapsible rib cages and blood that stores exceptional amounts of oxygen. When they return to the surface, they breathe and rest before diving once more into the abyss. Bowhead whales can live for more than 200 years, making them among the longest-lived mammals on Earth. Scientists discovered this by finding old stone harpoon points embedded in the blubber of harvested whales, weapons that hadn't been used for over a century. These whales have witnessed the entire industrial revolution swimming beneath Arctic ice. Their longevity may be related to their cold environment and slow metabolism. Grey whales undertake one of the longest migrations of any mammal, traveling up to 12,000 miles round trip each year. They journey from their feeding grounds in the Arctic to breeding lagoons in Mexico and back again. Mothers with calves swim even slower, patiently teaching their young the route. These whales navigate using a combination of coastline following, magnetic field detection, and possibly even memory passed down through generations. Despite their name and massive size, up to 40 feet long, whale sharks are gentle filter feeders that pose no threat to humans. They swim slowly through the water with mouths agape, filtering plankton and small fish through specialized pads. Divers often swim alongside these spotted giants, who seem unbothered by human presence. Each whale shark has a unique pattern of spots, like a fingerprint that researchers use to identify individuals. Manta rays possess the largest brain-to-body weight ratio of any fish, suggesting considerable intelligence. These graceful creatures have been observed using tools, cooperating with each other, and even recognizing themselves in mirrors, a rare ability in the animal kingdom. They feed by funneling plankton into their mouths with specialized flaps called cephalic fins. Watching a manta ray glide through the water is like witnessing an underwater ballet. Basking sharks are the second largest fish in the ocean, swimming leisurely at the surface with their enormous mouths wide open. They're filtering up to 2,000 tons of water per hour, extracting tiny plankton to sustain their massive bodies. Unlike their more famous cousin, the great white, basking sharks are completely harmless to humans. Their name comes from their habit of appearing to bask in the sun near the surface, though they're actually feeding. Flatfish, like flounders and halibut, are born looking like normal fish with eyes on both sides of their head. As they mature, however, one eye migrates across the top of the skull to join the other, and the fish begins living life lying on one side on the seafloor. The side facing down becomes pale, while the top develops camouflage coloring and pattern-changing abilities. This dramatic transformation helps them become nearly invisible against the ocean bottom. Leafy sea dragons are masters of disguise, with elaborate appendages that perfectly mimic floating seaweed. These delicate projections flutter in the current, just like the kelp and seagrass around them, making the sea dragon virtually invisible despite being nearly a foot long. They drift slowly through their habitat, propelled by nearly transparent fins that ripple too fast for the eye to see. Male leafy sea dragons, like seahorses, carry eggs on their tails until they hatch. Stonefish look exactly like barnacle-covered rocks on the reef, with mottled brown and grey colouring, combined with a lumpy, irregular shape. They lie motionless on the seafloor waiting for prey to swim past, then strike with lightning speed. Their venom is powerful, but primarily used for defense rather than hunting. These masters of stillness can wait for days without moving, perfectly blended with their surroundings. Frogfish have modified pectoral fins that they use to walk along the seafloor rather than swim. They're ambush predators that sit motionless, perfectly camouflaged as sponges or rocks, sometimes for days at a time. A modified dorsal spine acts as a fishing lure that they wiggle to attract curious prey. When a fish investigates, the frogfish's mouth expands and strikes in the blink of an eye, one of the fastest feeding strikes in the animal kingdom. Pufferfish can inflate their bodies to several times their normal size by rapidly pumping water into a special stomach chamber. This transformation turns them from small, vulnerable fish into large, spiky balls too big for most predators to swallow. The process is energetically costly and stressful, used only as a last resort. Many pufferfish species also contain tetrodotoxin, one of nature's most potent toxins, making them deadly to eat despite their comical appearance. Many reef fish species can change sex based on social hierarchy or environmental needs. Clownfish live in harems where the largest fish is female. If she dies, the dominant male will change sex to become the new female. Parrotfish and wrasses often start life as females and transform into males as they grow larger. This flexibility ensures that populations can maintain optimal breeding ratios, even when individual numbers are low. Seahorses are the only animals on Earth where males become pregnant and give birth to live young. The female deposits her eggs into the male's brood pouch, where he fertilizes them and carries them for 2 to 4 weeks. During this time, he provides oxygen and nutrients to the developing embryos. When ready, he goes through muscular contractions to release hundreds of tiny, fully formed seahorses into the water, exhausted but fulfilled in his unique paternal role. Seahorses form monogamous pair bonds and perform elaborate courtship dances each morning to reinforce their partnership. These dances involve changing colors, swimming side by side with tails intertwined, and performing synchronized movements. The daily ritual takes only a few minutes, but serves to maintain their bond and coordinate their reproductive timing. In a world where most fish show little parental care, seahorses stand out as devoted partners and parents. Peacock mantis shrimp have the most complex eyes in the animal kingdom, with 16 types of color receptors, compared to humans' 3. They can see ultraviolet, visible and polarized light, perceiving colors and patterns invisible to us. Their eyes move independently and contain multiple areas of focus in each eye. These vibrant creatures use their incredible vision to navigate complex reef environments and communicate with rivals through colorful displays. Electric rays can generate up to 200 volts of electricity using specialized muscle cells called electrocytes. They use these shocks to stun prey and defend against predators, though the voltage varies by species. The ray can control the intensity of its shock and typically uses weaker discharges for navigation and communication. These flat, disc-shaped rays lie partially buried in sand, waiting to ambush passing fish with a stunning electrical jolt. The deep sea officially begins at about 650 feet below the surface, where sunlight fades to near darkness. This marks the beginning of the aphotic zone, where photosynthesis becomes impossible and life must find alternative energy sources. The transition from the sunlit shallows to perpetual darkness happens gradually, with the water taking on deeper and deeper shades of blue, before finally surrendering to black. Everything below this threshold exists in an alien world most humans will never witness firsthand. In the deepest parts of the ocean, water pressure can exceed 1,000 atmospheres, more than 15,000 pounds per square inch, This is equivalent to having 50 jumbo jets stacked on top of you. Ordinary air-filled spaces would be crushed instantly at these depths, yet specialized creatures thrive here. Their bodies have adapted with gel-filled tissues instead of gas-filled spaces, proteins that function under extreme pressure, and metabolisms that work in the cold darkness. Giant squid can grow up to 43 feet long, with eyes the size of dinner plates, the largest eyes in the animal kingdom. For centuries, these creatures existed only in sailors' legends and occasional beach strandings. The first footage of a living giant squid in its natural habitat wasn't captured until 2004. These elusive cephalopods hunt in the ocean's twilight zone, using their massive eyes to detect the faint silhouettes of prey against the dim light filtering from above. Despite its frightening name, the vampire squid is neither a squid nor an octopus, but belongs to its own unique taxonomic order. This small, gentle creature drifts through the oxygen minimum zones of the deep ocean, feeding on marine snow, the constant rain of dead organic matter falling from above. When threatened, it turns itself inside out, revealing rows of fleshy spines and bioluminescent displays meant to startle predators. Its name comes from the webbing connecting its 8 arms, resembling a dark cape. The barreleye fish has a transparent, fluid-filled dome covering its head, letting its tubular eyes see upward through its own skull. These impressive eyes can rotate within the transparent shield, allowing the fish to look forward when needed. The barreleye drifts motionlessly in the deep, gazing upward to spot the silhouettes of prey against the faint light from the surface. Its entire body seems designed for patient watching in the dim twilight zone. Approximately 80% of creatures living in the deep sea produce their own light through bioluminescence. In the perpetual darkness below where sunlight penetrates, this living light becomes the primary means of communication, hunting, and defense. The deep ocean at night is filled with countless tiny lights, like an underwater starfield. This widespread adaptation to darkness has resulted in some of the most alien-looking creatures on our planet. Bioluminescence is created through gentle chemical reactions that produce light without generating heat, unlike light bulbs, which waste much energy as warmth. The process involves special molecules and enzymes working together when oxygen is present, releasing energy in the form of cold, pure light. This efficiency is one of nature's elegant solutions to the challenge of creating illumination. Evolution has arrived at this solution independently in many different marine lineages. Deep-sea creatures use bioluminescence to communicate complex messages to potential mates, rivals, and prey. Different flash patterns, colors, and intensities convey different meanings, creating a visual language of light. Some species can modulate their glow like dimmer switches, while others produce quick flashes or sustained illumination. In the silent darkness of the deep, light becomes conversation. Lanternfish are among the most abundant vertebrates on Earth, with trillions living in the ocean's twilight zone. They get their name from the photophores, light-producing organs, arranged in patterns along their bodies. Each species has a unique pattern of lights, like a biological barcode that helps them identify their own kind in the dimness. Every night, lanternfish rise from the depths to feed near the surface, creating the largest daily migration of animals on the planet. The anglerfish uses a modified fin ray that projects from its forehead like a fishing rod, tipped with a luminous lure filled with bioluminescent bacteria. This glowing bait dangles in front of the anglerfish's enormous mouth, attracting curious prey in the darkness. When a fish investigates too closely, the anglerfish strikes with surprising speed. The anglerfish itself remains nearly invisible, a toothy mouth appearing suddenly from the void. Crystal jellyfish produce a beautiful green bioluminescent glow when disturbed, creating a protective flash that startles predators. Scientists studying these jellyfish discovered green fluorescent protein, GFP, which has revolutionized biological research and earned a Nobel Prize. GFP is now used to track cellular processes in laboratories worldwide. These delicate, transparent jellies have thus illuminated not only the ocean, but also our understanding of life itself. Some shark species, particularly those living in deeper waters, have bioluminescent properties that create glowing patterns on their bodies. The kitefin shark holds the record as the largest known luminous vertebrate, growing up to 6 feet long. These sharks may use their glow for counter-illumination camouflage, matching the dim light filtering down from above, so they're invisible to predators looking up. In the ocean's twilight zone, even apex predators need to hide. The gulper eel, living in the ocean's darkest depths, has a long whip-like tail tipped with a glowing pink lure. This unusual fish has an enormous mouth and expandable stomach, enabling it to swallow prey larger than itself. The glowing tail tip may attract prey within striking distance of that cavernous mouth. With its thin, almost serpentine body and minimal muscle, the gulper eel is adapted for a life of waiting patiently in the dark for food to approach. In Toyama Bay, Japan, firefly squid create one of nature's most spectacular light shows each spring when they gather to spawn. Millions of these small squid, each producing blue bioluminescent light from organs on their bodies, create a glowing display visible from shore. The entire bay seems to shimmer with ethereal blue light as waves carry the glowing creatures toward the beach. Locals consider this annual phenomenon both mystical and sacred. On certain beaches around the world, breaking waves glow electric blue at night, caused by billions of minuscule organisms called dinoflagellates. These single-celled creatures produce light when disturbed by movement, creating a magical effect where every splash and footstep illuminates the water. The glow is thought to be a defense mechanism, startling predators or attracting secondary predators to the animals disturbing them. Walking along a glowing beach feels like stepping into a dream. A phenomenon called deep-sea gigantism causes many creatures in the abyss to grow much larger than their shallow water relatives. Giant isopods can reach over a foot long, while their coastal cousins are barely an inch. Scientists believe this may relate to colder temperatures, higher oxygen availability at depth, scarce food requiring larger energy reserves, or reduced predation pressure. In the deep sea, being large offers advantages that don't exist in shallower waters. Hagfish produce extraordinary amounts of slime as a defense mechanism. A single hagfish can turn a 5-gallon bucket of water into slime in minutes. This slime is produced by specialized glands and expands rapidly when released into water, clogging the gills of predators. The hagfish can tie itself into a knot and slide the knot down its body to scrape off excess slime. These primitive fish have existed virtually unchanged for 300 million years, their slime strategy proving exceptionally effective. The blobfish looks perfectly normal when swimming in its deep-sea habitat, where pressure supports its gelatinous body. It's only when brought to the surface that pressure changes cause it to deflate into the sad, droopy appearance that made it famous. In its natural environment, thousands of feet deep, the blobfish is a typical-looking fish that hovers just above the seafloor, waiting for edible creatures to drift within reach. Its gelatinous body is actually an adaptation that lets it float without expending energy. Hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor support thriving ecosystems that survive without any energy from sunlight. Superheated, mineral-rich water shoots up from these vents, and specialized bacteria convert the chemicals into energy through chemosynthesis. These bacteria form the base of a food web that includes giant tube worms, blind shrimp, and unique species of crabs and fish. These communities exist in what would otherwise be lifeless desert on the deep seafloor. Some deep-sea fish have evolved antifreeze proteins in their blood that prevent ice crystals from forming even in below freezing temperatures. These proteins bind to tiny ice crystals and prevent them from growing larger, helping the fish survive in polar and deep waters where other fish would freeze solid. The discovery of these proteins has applications in cryopreservation and frozen food technology. Nature's solutions to survival challenges often exceed what human engineering can achieve. Archerfish can shoot precise jets of water from their mouths to knock insects off overhanging vegetation and into the water. They account for refraction at the water's surface when aiming, demonstrating sophisticated understanding of physics. Young archerfish learn this skill by watching adults, gradually improving their accuracy with practice. These fish essentially use tools, water jets, to hunt prey in an environment they cannot physically reach. Mudskippers can breathe air and spend most of their time out of water, walking on land using their modified pectoral fins. They keep their gills wet by carrying water in their gill chambers and can also absorb oxygen through their skin. Males build elaborate mud towers to attract females and defend territories, behaving more like territorial lizards than fish. They represent an evolutionary echo of when ancient fish first ventured onto land, hundreds of millions of years ago. Remora fish have evolved a modified dorsal fin that functions as a suction disc, letting them attach to larger animals like sharks, whales, and sea turtles. They hitch rides on these hosts, feeding on parasites and scraps from their meals. The suction is so strong that some cultures have used remoras on lines to catch sea turtles. This relationship benefits both parties. The remora gets transportation and food, while the host gets a cleaning service. The ocean sunfish, or mola mola, lays up to 300 million eggs at once, more than any other vertebrate. Despite this incredible reproductive output, very few survive to adulthood. These unusual-looking fish are essentially swimming heads with no tail, reaching weights over 5,000 pounds. They spend much of their time at the surface, lying on their sides as if sunbathing, possibly to attract birds that eat their parasites, or to warm up after deep dives. Salps are gelatinous, barrel-shaped filter feeders that often form long chains by connecting dozens or hundreds of individuals together. Each salp in the chain is a genetically identical clone, and together they pulse in coordinated rhythm to move through the water. They filter phytoplankton with exceptional efficiency, able to clear water at rates much faster than most other filter feeders. When salps bloom, they can form chains stretching dozens of feet long, creating living ribbons that drift through the ocean like transparent garlands. Ice fish living in Antarctic waters have clear, nearly transparent blood because they lack hemoglobin, the red protein that carries oxygen in most vertebrates' blood. The frigid, oxygen-rich Antarctic waters let them absorb enough oxygen directly through their skin and gills. Their hearts are larger than typical fish hearts and pump greater volumes of blood to compensate for its reduced oxygen-carrying capacity. These ghostly fish represent an evolutionary solution unique to their frozen environment. The nautilus shell follows the mathematical golden ratio in its spiral growth pattern, adding chamber after chamber in perfect logarithmic proportions. As the nautilus grows, it moves forward into larger chambers, sealing off the smaller ones behind. By adjusting the gas and fluid in these chambers, the nautilus controls its buoyancy. These living fossils have remained essentially unchanged for 500 million years, their mathematical perfection requiring no improvement. Sand dollars are living echinoderms related to sea urchins, covered in tiny purple or brown spines when alive. They live partially buried in sand on the ocean floor, using their spines to burrow and move food particles toward their mouths on their undersides. The distinctive flower pattern on their shells marks where their tube feet emerge. The white shells we find on beaches are actually their skeletons, revealed only after death. Starfish can regenerate lost arms and, in some species, grow an entirely new body from a single severed arm if it includes part of the central disc. This extraordinary ability lets them survive predator attacks and other injuries that would be fatal to most animals. The regeneration process can take months or even years, during which the starfish continues living and functioning with whatever arms remain. Some species intentionally drop arms to escape predators, knowing they can regrow them. Manatees, gentle aquatic herbivores, are more closely related to elephants than to seals, sea lions, or other marine mammals. Both manatees and elephants evolved from a common ancestor that lived on land tens of millions of years ago. You can see the family resemblance in their molars, which are replaced throughout their lives in a similar fashion, and in their flexible lips used for grasping food. Manatees move slowly through warm coastal waters, grazing peacefully on seagrass and aquatic plants. And so, our journey through the ocean drifts to a gentle close. From sunlit waves dancing on the surface, to shadowed depths where ancient creatures glide in silence, we've wandered through a world of mystery, beauty, and quiet wonder. The ocean keeps its timeless rhythm, tides rising and falling, currents flowing endlessly, life unfolding softly in every hidden corner. As you drift towards sleep, carry the calm of this vast blue world with you, peaceful, endless, and full of gentle motion. Until next time, rest well, dream of the deep, and know that the ocean's secrets remain, quietly waiting beneath the waves.